It's Gemini time. Hey Seeker. Welcome back to the Existential Shift. So very happy to have you here. Thank you. If you're new to my channel or recently joined, my name is Morgane. Welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you. So, some of you it's your birthday, so happy early birthday to you Taurus Cusper Geminis. Death card peaked, but it didn't fall. Don Juan de Matos in Carlos Castaneda's books, Teachings of Don Juan, always says that death peaks behind our left shoulder. Not to creep you out, it's the symbolism, the reminder of life is short. Do you have a dilemma? Well, if you knew your days were short, what would you choose then? Death reminds us to live. So, I think this card peeked for a second just to remind you of that. It's not here to take you. It's not here to scare you. It's here to inspire you. To remind you, hey, Gemini, psst, Seeker, are you living? Because I can remind you, the Fool, of the importance of freedom and life by taking something small from you. Not to hurt you, just to give you a little bit of a reminder, a little bit of a push. Beyond the cliff. Not to actually jump from a cliff, Gemini. You'd be surprised, you never know who listens, right? Metaphorically. To take the leap of faith. To jump. There is no price for freedom. That's what the Fool is truly about, by the way. Yes, new beginnings. Yes, the 0 and the 1 of creation. There is no price to freedom. For self-expression. For living your life fully. Because every step denotes a potential cliff or a potential fall. Or a potential leap, a potential fly. Including sitting down. When you sit down, here comes an earthquake. I mean, you might as well risk the inevitable risk and possibly achieve what it is that you want to achieve. And if not, at the bare minimum, really enjoy the adventure and the experience and the journey. New spiritual start, Gemini. It's a new mindset. It's a new way of looking at life, approaching life, behaving. There's a restart in your head, in your mind, or recently you've had that. I feel like for a lot of you it happened in either Aquarius season or Aries season. Most likely in the past couple of months it's been intense, where you're starting to look at life from a different lens. And even if your life seemingly are the same, it's also very different. It's like looking at a plant from a human's perspective, like 1 meter away or 3 feet, 4 feet away, versus looking at a plant from a plane's point of view, where it's like a small dot on the ground, if any, versus looking at it from a shark's point of view, if it's in the ocean, where shark sees infrared, heat. One thing, same plant, looks completely different if you look at it differently. If the mind that analyzes it is different. You like to consider yourself to be open-minded because you seek knowledge, you like to learn, you're very analytical, cognitive, you see things clearly, you analyze things clearly. But what if you've been looking at the same equations that you've been analyzing so far? What if now the equation of life is changing and it requires you, forces you to analyze it differently? The Emperor. The Fool and the Emperor, the Fool followed by the Emperor, is a massive growth. It's a really big, strong leap. It's seeking new reality, finding it, then building it. Finding the idea, should I say. Maybe you're deciding to take an independent road and be your own boss. Taking a risk, building your own company, opening up your own business. Maybe, a lot of cards, too many. I'm just going to take the top one because it connects to the story, the Hangman. It brings up a very important archetype of... So, Odin hung himself on the Yggdrasil tree, which is the equivalent in the Jewish religion to the tree of life, right? Tree of good and knowledge, good and bad, from Adam and Eve. And it's just the equivalent. You see that type of tree in all traditions and cultures, and in history it has different names. But the most ancient one that I'm familiar with is the Yggdrasil from the Norse mythology, which is the tree of the 9 worlds that holds the secrets of life. Using the language of the runes. FYI, at the end of your extended, I also do a rune reading. Odin here, and this is just one archetype from the Hangman, he wanted the knowledge of life. He wanted to know. He wanted to be the master of himself, thus the master of the universe. And at the end of those 9 days, the sacrifice was worth it. It worked. And the runes meaning, rune in Gaelic means secret, unveiled to him, thus showing him the secrets of life, thus making him Odin, the All-Father. Think Zeus, right? So we're going from the Fool, the seeker, who seeks knowledge and truth and worlds, hangs himself, sacrifices something of the old, something of the perspective, changes its perspective, his or her perspective, the Fool, right? And finds eternal glory. So dramatic. Well, that's how you find mastery over your own life, Gemini. By letting go of what you know to make room to what you can discover. You have to change your perspective. Look at things from a different point of view. Now, you're always looking at things from 2 different points of view, right? The dualistic nature of the twins, of Geminis. But there's more to life than the perspective of polarities. The 0 of the Fool is all-inclusive. It's the polars, right? The yin and yang that creates the cycle, the everything and the nothing. But it's also the rainbow that is in between. Between black and white, you can find gray, but between black and white, you can find all the colors of the rainbow. All the spectrum of truth. So you come here with the mindset of polarities to see things from 2 different perspectives with the intent of finding balance and see all perspective. An evolved Gemini, enlightened Gemini, okay, whatever, isn't a dual Gemini, isn't someone who has 2 faces, one time acts like this twin, one time acts like that twin. That is a very stigmatic, superficial, flat astrological point of view of Geminis, and honestly, I find it offensive to Geminis. Please don't read the descriptions of signs, of zodiac signs in like magazines and like weekend horoscopes. It's ridiculous. We come here with the characteristics that are meant to lead us to our spiritual growth, lesson, fulfillment of best potential. So the zodiac's characteristics isn't its end. It's path, it's challenge, it's clues. You being dual, having two twins, isn't who you are, Gemini. It's the clue and the path to who you are. It's not something to hold on to. Oh, I behave like this and like that, and sometimes I'm like this and sometimes I'm like that, because I'm a Gemini. Well, I can't help it. That's like a very devolved way of looking at yourself, Gemini. Oh, I'm being stubborn and controlling and dependent and or self-sacrificial because I'm a Taurus. It's just who I am. No, it's what you are here to learn how to overcome and work through in order to be a leader and a healer, not a dictator and covert narcissistic empath. Empaths, covert narcissists who refer to themselves as empaths are more dangerous than actual flat out in your face narcissists. Watch my a narcissist is an empath who had enough. Empath versus narcissist, the triggering truth. Not an easy one, but a very important one. Anyway, Gemmy, I'm talking to you like that because you can deal with it. First 3 card on the table is the Seeker and the Master and the path to it. I mean, you can handle what I'm saying. Odin. I have some brilliant Geminis watching me right now who really needed this kick in the booty, because right now you are guided to guide. And if you're stuck in that dual mindset of one day I'm this twin and one day I'm that twin, and if you're hurt by it or confused by it, then well, then that's your problem. You just don't get me, Gemini. Some of the most brilliant, genius, beautiful, inspiring spiritual leaders and teachers that I've heard of or known myself are Geminis. Your highest expression of your mind and of your knowledge is mind-blowing. But you can't get there if you're stuck in your stereotype. It's not your strength and who you are. It's falling to the easy narrative. Are you here to teach people to fall for their easy narrative? Or are you here to teach them how to break out, or should I say through, because I always say the only way out is in, to break through that narrative, outside of the matrix, with knowing how to spot the cracks. So in that matrix, there's a black pole and the white pole. Temple of Solomon. The cave of Persephone, the high priestess. But what's in between those poles? Do you remember the card of the high priestess? No, I'm not going to show you. I'll tell you, and maybe it will pop up. If the high priestess will want to show up, she'll show up. I'm not forcing her. I don't dare to force a high priestess to do anything. In between, there are colorful pomegranates. Warm, bright colors of life. And to get to that, you need to walk in the crack between the poles, the black and the white. You don't break your head on the black pole, you don't break your head on the white pole, stand there and be like, today I'm a white pole, today I'm a black pole. No, no. Mutable air, Gemini. You are embarking on a very meaningful journey of mastery, for mastery. It will require you to have a beginner's mind. Unlearn everything you've learned. King of Swords. That will make you the master of the air elements. And speaking of the Temple of Solomon, King of Swords is also the archetype of King Solomon, the wisest king in the kingdom. When a case came to him that is of the polar nature, where he had to choose between two mothers who claimed motherhood for the same child, did he fall for the trap of one truth, this or that? He said to them, I can't decide. You're both oh so convincing. I'll be fair. You both win. I will cut the baby in half, and each of you will get an equal portion of the baby. Both of your mothers. One was like, great, thanks. The other was like, no. Give my baby to her. I'd rather not be with him than to hurt him. Don't cut my baby. Let her have it. And what did he do? King Solomon? He gave the baby to the mother that was not willing to hurt it, and made sure that the mother that was willing to split it in half never see him again. Because the mother that was willing to take half, she didn't love that baby. She wanted to own that baby. It wasn't about the baby, it was about her. He just served a need. The other mother, she didn't saw that baby as hers. That baby was a world, was an entity. It was free to be who he or she is. She wanted to keep it whole. That is the ultimate sacrifice of unconditional love. It's not, I love you so much, I have to have you, I'll do everything and anything to have you. From black magic to manipulation. Because I just love you so much and I'm willing to do so much for you. You don't love him and you don't love her. You want to control them. And this is about you. If you truly love someone, let them be who they want to be, where they want to be, with whom they want to be. And be happy for them when they find happiness. May brings clarity. May brings leadership. May brings responsibility. May brings power, and with it responsibility. And May brings money. What did you work so hard for, Gemini? You're getting the results. Good job. If you have your own business, the Emperor and Nine of Pentacles and King of Swords, if you have your own business, you seem to be managing it really well. This time of quarantine and economic disaster for many, you've dealt with it wise. You found your way. You've made some sacrifices. You kept your mind open. By October, things will start really picking up because you've acted well now. So, proud of you for that. You're crafty. You're witty. You're original. And people take note. Show me more for Gemini, for May, please. Our extended will be about love. It's a double pentagram, a look into you and your person of interest. Relationship, situationship, ex-ship, future ship. It will pick up on what it needs to pick up for you. As long as it's not someone that you've never met and you're fantasizing over through the screen. Think of someone real in your life. Okay. Okay. It's also not in regards to someone who has an order of protection against you. I'm sorry, I have to say these things because there are some. Of course, not most of you, but for those who are, I feel the need to clarify. Okay. Show me more, please. You can find it on Vimeo and on Patreon. It's the same extended, except that on Vimeo you can purchase it separately, whichever video/videos you want. And on Patreon, it's unlimited streaming of all the extendeds for all the 13 signs. I also do a focus if you're new to my channel. And it's a lower price on Patreon, and it's a monthly membership. It's a community that I'm building there, and we have also daily rune messages and lunar love readings, and it's more personal, and you get to connect with me better. There's also lunar love reading. I don't know if I mentioned that. And karmic shift and liberation is for unlimited streaming there. My 2020 special, look into you and your karma, past lifetimes, generational karma, current lifetime karma, all the jazz. And I have Tarot Masterclass. Tarot Masterclass you can only find currently on Vimeo. It's a VIP special project. It's more expensive than the rest because it's way more. I mean, it's Tarot Masterclass. I don't just use that word lightly. There's 90 pre-recorded classes there from me about tarot. And if you want to learn how to be a tarotchi, I recommend checking it out. All the magic is in the information box below. I talk as much as I need to shuffle, until the cards drop. If cards were dropping, I would save everything I just said to the end. Okay. Why am I apologizing? Strike all that. Gemini, for May, show me more. So far it's been pretty good. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. So this independent success might come at the expense of an existing partnership, a cooperation that you've had or potentially might consider having will not be able to stand you doing both. Maybe that's the thing that is sacrificed. Not the time to give away your chips, Gemini. Not the time to split yourself. My phone is off the charts. It's on vibrant, but I keep hearing bzz, bzz, bzz. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Hope everything's okay. Okay. 6 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups. So many pentacles on the table. So you're now at a position to give out of generosity, but not as investment. What do I mean by that? You want to help someone, you want to support someone. If you can, if you have the resources, great. Give to them if you want to. It's up to you. But if it's an aspect of going into business with them or investing, I would wait with it a little bit. There's more to this than meets the eye. The 7 of Cups here. Something there. It's like it looks that it seems to have a lot of potential possibilities, but right now it's a little bit. It's in a fog. It's in a mist. You might go into it and then find out all kinds of small letters that you've missed out on. So I would I would wait with going into partnership or investing in the long haul, in a business or a place, buying something. Not quite yet. Have more information about it and make sure that it can bring back the investment. Again, if you want to give and invest, knowing that it might end up not being something that reciprocates, and possibly you just helped someone and you don't necessarily see money return from it, sure, you can do that. But if you expect a return, once again, wait to have a little bit more clarity. I don't know if you're receiving finances or resources, or you have a certain limited amount of resources, that you need to be very considerate during the month of May in regards to where you put and where you invest and what you do with it. If you're asking, well, what about the Fool card in the beginning and investing in yourself? Yes. If you wanna be independent, open your own business. I'm referring specifically to partnerships, or to buying a product that is a potential, that it's an idea, but I have the feeling that it's something that had great potential of success in the old world, meaning things that used to work even up until a few months ago. But the world is now so changing. The economy is changing. Education is changing. Medicine is changing. Spirituality is changing. Governments are changing. Everything is shifting. Wait for the massive wheels to first align more with the new world, so you see exactly what's going on. For example, do not invest in meat right now. Meat in 50 years will be a part of the history, shameful history. For example, if you're like, once this ends, I'm going to open a restaurant. Great. Do your due diligence and your research when it comes to the food world today. Food industries. 3 of Wands. Learn. There's more information to come. There's a world that is waiting to unveil itself to you. Let it unveil itself to you. Keep beginner's mind, open mind. Don't go into it from the mindset of the old world that you're used to. Oh, this for sure would work. Not anymore. There is something that has big potential. It's an idea that its potential is rooted in the New World Order, a New World vision. That would be more of a direction. Okay? If you have that dilemma, if this is something you find yourself dealing with, 9 of Wands, but you feel like you're unsure, you don't exactly know, you have ideas, you want to protect them. Maybe you have some unique idea that you want to explore or invest in or grow, and you're not sure who you can trust. Once again, if someone is pushing you to be partners, don't let them push you. I'm picking up that this 9 of Wands here isn't paranoid. It's intuitive. Listen to your intuition, Gemini. Not your black and white logic. Knight of Swords. Not your need to prove and do immediately. Don't go from 0 to 100. It might be destructive for you, especially towards the end of May, towards your season. From 20th of May and on, Gemini season. Be cautious with people who tell you in certainty what they know and how you should run your business or how you should deal with your relationships. If they advise you, if they speak and it resonates and it clicks and it feels right, take it, of course. But if something in your stomach doesn't sit right, one more card. I'll also pull Animal Spirit for you guys. Yay! One more card for my beautiful Geminis. I'm picking up on some of you might want to go into sacred geometry, learn a little bit about that. I have 936 of Pentacles here, 936, 963, 369, 396, all that. The combinations of 3 and 6 and 9 is highly sacred geometry. It's really one of the most meaningful equations of the 3D as we know it, and its aspects and its truth and the cycles of life. Nikola Tesla was obsessed with 369, so there's a lot of material about it on YouTube and online that you can check out. Right, Nikola Tesla, right, 369, right, sacred geometry, 369, something about it might click for you. Show me more, a little bit, that's it. Good, got it. A little bit, and they gave me 4 cards. Thanks. The Lovers, Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. So many pentacles. So much belonging and status and money. Okay. So this is where a reader might be like, hey you, because technically this is the major arcana that symbolizes Gemini. It's less than 100 years old. 100 years old or so, this definition. The Golden Dawn in the early 20th century, in the early 1900, assigned astrological signs to the major arcana. Some of them make sense to me, some of them don't make sense to me at all. The sense in the Gemini with the Lover's card is really synced with the beginning of this video and the conversation that we had about the difference between your character and your spiritual goal, North Node kind of thing, right? What it is you aspire to become as a spirit. Because the Lovers represents the spiritual expansion, the evolved, super evolved Gemini. It's about making a choice that is balanced, that is loyal to a path, thus fully living. Because if you're constantly split and constantly dual, if you split the baby, you don't have a baby. The baby's dead. You cut it in half. Okay? But if you either have a full project path and you put in the work and the faith and you walk that path, or not at that at all and you just keep it open, keep the path open for something wholesome to come in, that's your biggest challenge as a dual sign, and that's your biggest evolution, and that's what you're here to teach. Balance. And you can only do that once you achieve it yourself, right? So it's coming here to remind you just of that. The Lovers doesn't represent Gemini's people. It represents a Gemini ideal, spiritual ideal. It's an ambition, it's a path. What do you need in order to get to that path? Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. Knowing thyself truly, not from the mind, from the heart. Look at how he's looking at this cup. And from there, when you find yourself, how you feel, who you are, as a wholesome entity, what do both your twins have in common always? Put your emphasis and energy and craft onto that part of you, that painting that represents the multi-layers and the colors within your personality. All right? Your personality is blue and yellow. Invest in the green aspect of you. Right? Your personality is red and yellow, and invest in the orange. Your personality is red and blue, and invest in the purple. I think you get the picture. Seven of Pentacles. I'm sorry, I kept saying 8 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Invest. And once you have that knowing, once you have that knowledge and you bring it forth to someone and maybe they're like, I don't know if it's good enough, then that means they're not your path and they're not good enough. If you have that pentacle, if you have that cup, if you find who you are and what is your path and what is your purpose, then in that moment, little tests will start coming. It will feel very serendipitous, almost like, but I have to stay in touch with this person. It happened in such a serendipitous way. It happened to test you, to see if you can truly live and embody that which you theoretically in the mind and the cognition learned. Can you take it from the mind to the essence, Gemini? It will start coming at you like little opportunities to behave as the alchemical intertwined individual that is both the twins in balanced way, or to keep responding from, wait, should it maybe be this twin, or maybe should it be this twin? I mean, be what you want and who you want. You're here, you can listen to me, but you don't have to listen to me. That's just my input. Just saying, 2 7s, 2 9s, 2 3s. King of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Maybe there's an earth sign that is meaningful to you. Maybe it's an earth energy that is meaningful for you to tap into. Knight of Swords, Page of Cups. Don't take your anger at someone just because they're there and quiet and they tend to not talk back. Especially if it's a child involved. During this quarantine, families are all day long at home. It's very stressful. Love can rise, abuse can rise. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of pent-up emotion. Don't let anyone snap at you. Be careful of that. And don't snap at anyone else. Be careful of that, especially if it's a younger energy, like a child or even a pet. Very, very important note for some of you. These are the major arcanas on the table. OMG. The Fool, the Emperor, the Hangman, and the Lovers. You are being set forth on a path that can lead you to greatness, Gemini. I'm not kidding. Some of you that are watching me are either going to become really big or you're already big and you're growing. This is a meaningful time. Don't mess around. Choose the path of least resistance and of most how do I express this, what I'm feeling, and most devotion and loyalty to the character of your spirit, right? Not the character of the personality that you've built and established throughout your childhood, picking up from different people around you, family, friends, classmates, and all that. Oh, this is my personality. This is the puzzle of me. You took this piece, not you, everybody do that. That's how we develop our personality, right? It's a combination of our events, of people around us, of what we see on television, and the books we read. And it's great and it's beautiful. That's how we learn, we observe, and then we choose who am I? Okay, you build it as you grow up, even if you're not aware of it or if you don't remember. So I'm not referring to that part of you, the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck stuck around when I picked up the deck. You are greater than the sum of you. You're greater than the sum of your pieces. Very destined time, very meaningful, pivotal point in time. Good luck. Animal Spirit. Oh my God, this reading is long. Oh well, I'll do it quick. Animal Spirit, and then I'll do your extended. Animal spirit message for Geminis for May. How will I name this reading? Animal spirit messages for Gemini for May. Two sevens, two nines. What does it mean? Teaching and expression of your spiritual knowledge, or of your analytical knowledge, depending on if your mind is more spiritual or more analytical and what it is that you focus on. There's an aspect of seeing the details and expressing it to the world. I'm not seeing it happening fully yet. I'm seeing that it's on the path there. I don't have fives here, but I do have threes. It's the path there. You're learning how to get yourself there, for some of you. Okay, animal spirit messages for Gemini. Butterfly! You're out of the cocoon. You're ready to fly. You've already dissolved into your molecular structure. You already reshaped yourself within the cocoon. You're either right now breaking the cocoon with your wings, or you just snapped out of it and you're like, where am I? Who am I? Well, welcome to the new you. Look in the mirror. It's different. It's glorious. It's beautiful. It's you. Own it. I have some pretty evolved, badass Geminis watching, or on the potential and the path there, which I'm very, very excited to have you here. And deer. I feel like it's like a butterfly landing on a deer's nose. I don't know. This is like an inspiring encounter that is very lighthearted and gentle and easy and respectful. I have this image of two people sitting on a bench with a really lovely view in front of them, like maybe like an overview of a mountain or of a hill or something, speaking of the Fool here, and they're eating a sandwich, or like some sort of like picnic-like kind of style, and there's like nature around, and it's really serene and nice. It's super channeled, intuitive message from these two, so that could be fun. You might have that happen during this month. Lovely, have fun. Like very philosophical, fun, lighthearted, humor even conversation. And there's trust there. Deers are very gentle and timid, and so are butterflies. And they just, the butterfly kind of just lands on the deer and like, hey, hey. I'll see you in the extended Vimeo or Patreon. Would love to have you on Patreon. If you haven't joined the channel yet, press subscribe to join the shift, the X shift. If you haven't pressed the bell button yet, press the bell button for notifications and to tell me how much you love me. Because I love you. See you in a second.